What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Rec Room. I'm your boy Tony the Brick Whisperer. As you can see, it is even more of a wreck. Uh, I've got a number of things that I've got going on right now, to include further work on my uh, Winter Village display. I'm doing I'm doing a lot. But first and foremost, happy Arizona Day. Today is the day that Arizona became a state. But for everybody else, happy Valentine's Day. More specifically to Mrs. Brick Whisperer, happy Valentine's Day, babe. Because all of these builds are for you for Valentine's Day. So, what do you say we go right into all of my sponsorships? And here they are. That's right, zero. No sponsors. No one's given me anything. Lego hasn't given me anything. Mrs. Brick Whisperer is my only sponsor. And more importantly, she's my biggest supporter, hands down. And none of this would be possible without her. So, with all that, let's dive right in to our very first set. Boom! Set number 40460, the Roses. I know, we already did a bouquet of a dozen roses, but this one, it was just one of those we wanted to make something a little special. So, what do you say we knock this one out of the park real fast? Here we go. All right, let's cut this bag open, or more accurately, this box. All right, so we have the roses, as I stated. This set was released on the 1st of January of 2021, retired on the 1st of July of 2022, recommended retail price of $15. And with only 120 pieces, this set took me all of 10 minutes to slap together. And one thing's for sure, in a handful of videos, I'm just waiting for more things to arrive. We're going to be knocking out, hopefully, the last of the botanicals for a while. As Mrs. Brick whispers in the back, laughing like, yeah, right. As you see, one of her new vases, and there they are. Beautiful red, looking amazing. So I'm coming in real close and I'm trying to whisper this because I don't want anybody else to hear me. More specifically, Keely and Mara. Because those two roses were actually for them. So right now I'm making this video here. It's gonna get uploaded on Valentine's Day morning. And I don't think you heard it, but I just heard Kaylee from across the house cheer for probably whatever she's watching on TV. So it's a secret. The roses are for her and Mara. So, girls, happy Valentine's Day. Mom and I hope you like them. All right, so moving on to our next set, as I am clearly not prepared. What is wrong with me today? All right, so moving on. What are we going to jump into next? We, excellent question. Here we go. Boom! Set number 40867, the love letters. See, now Mrs. Brick Whisperer can never say I never wrote her any love letters. Boom. She's in the back giggling. She can hear all of this. And I'm sure on Valentine's morning she's going to watch it all and just get a chuckle out of all of it. So I apparently scared her when I tossed the last box. Here goes the next one. What do you say we dive into this build? Here we go. Okay, so the Love Letters was a cool little unique set. This set was just recently released. I don't have an exact date. What I'm seeing right here, it just says 2026. So sometime in the last 6 weeks. Recommended retail price of $20. Had a total of 345 pieces, which took me approximately 20 minutes. And in actuality, it took me about 15 to 16. And the reason why I say in all actuality is because there's two different ways to do this. So right here is the first way. And we're just doing exactly that. We're making the love letters LO heart E, using the heart as a V. Very floral, very reminiscent of the heart ornament that I had done for Mrs. Brick Whisperer. I believe it was last year. So, pardon me. So I know that she enjoyed it. If I'm not mistaken, she saw it this way, and was kind of on the fence which of the two ways to go about it. Ultimately, she chose this way, but I decided to take it the second way. All right, so the letters are all spelled out. Right now, these are the additional parts for the second build. And there it is. So, like I said, she came in, she saw it this way, she saw how it could be if I changed any of it, and she chose for it to be this way. Kind of with a disappointed sound in her voice as she chose it this way. So I decided to surprise her. And so, how did I surprise her? With this. You remove the bottom part of the L and throw on a couple of the little decor, if you will, decor flowers to put right there next to the what is now an I. Use the heart that was being used as a V and just leave it as is, and then change the O to a U. So she was working. She had just gotten out of a meeting, and I had walked over to her computer and I put these on her computer like this. Right now they're sitting underneath her computer monitor, and she giggles every time she sees them. I see the huge smile all the way from the rec room because she is in the kitchen straightening up, and she is just beaming, let me tell you. So Mrs. Brick Whisperer really loves the permanent Lego note sitting right there underneath her computer monitor. And, like I said, I can sit here, I can look all the way into the kitchen, and she is grinning from ear to ear. And I know that she also loved this set. Boom! Set number 21365, The Lovebirds. So Lego had already released a set called the Lovebirds, and then they released these. And Mrs. Brick Whisperer was very excited for this one. And hey, this was not gonna lie, this was a pretty interesting build. I really liked how organic everything ended up looking. So, what do you say we crank this build out really fast? I think I keep scaring Mrs. Brick Whisperer every box I chuck over my shoulder. So let's dive in. Here we go. All right, time to knock out the Lovebirds. So this set was released also in 2026. I don't have an exact date, but it was released this year. Uh, Recommended retail price of $50. 750 pieces. This set took me just under an hour to build. Um, Building the little tree that they're sitting on was a very interesting little build. The perch that they're on. It looks amazing. Very organic looking. Uh so yeah, like I said, it took me just under an hour. We're gonna try and get through it here in just a couple of minutes. So I suppose while we wait, we could listen to the sounds of Lego being built. So when I was first putting this together, I was kind of nervous because of how it's shaped. I thought it was going to eventually be heavy to one side, it would fall one way or the other. But what was cool was how they spread out the base, if you will, with essentially what would be the roots. And it gives it a pretty sturdy and solid foundation. So I thought that was cool. Now, here we are diving into the foliage, and you know how much of a fan I am of repetition. And I used to have in my head the exact number there were. Truth be told, there's been so much going on as of late, I don't remember that number. Probably for the best. But these blooming leaves and whatnot really gives it a very, very pretty look. All right, on to the birds. And the great thing about the birds were they were identical, so I was able to get them both knocked out at the same time. It I said this in the past. It speeds things up for me. And so there they are, side by side, kind of smooching as lovebirds usually do. Actual lovebirds, I'm referring to, but there they are. Truly, truly beautiful set. So as soon as I had finished this set, I had set it out there, and instantly Mrs. Brick Whisper had to do some arranging of how she had all of her Valentine Lego throughout the living room. Uh, my original plan was to essentially stop the video right there. And then she saw this set. She got crazy excited, had to have it, which is funny considering this is now the third or fourth time that she has placed an order on Lego.com, not a sponsor, just for the GWP, the gift with purchase. And I think that's funny. I think that's hilarious. I think it's cute. There was a time where it was you have too many Lego. This is a silly hobby. To where fast forward, she's like, "Oh, I think this one's cute," and "Oh, thank you for this flower set." And then I get a text message at work that said, "When you get home, can we discuss the sets that I have on my wanted list?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, you're what? What have you done to me?" And now, if you're sooner or later, I'll get a picture of what her office looks like. This past weekend, I had we had rearranged her office a bit, and she was trying to figure out where to put stuff. And she said, "Let's pull everything that still needs to be built so I know where I need to place some things." And the look on her face when she saw her own backlog was hilarious. And so, yeah, yes, I will tease her a bit, and then she'll just look at me and go, "Really? You really want to make fun of me about my backlog? How about yours?" Well, none of my stuff is being built right now. So that's no fair. But I digress. Let's dive into what she just had to get, this GWP. Here we go. Boom! Set number 40886, The Penguins in Love. Oh, yes. She had to have this set. So she got it. I have no problem with it. And so, hey, let's just get it knocked out real quick. Here we go. All right, let's cut this box open. Let's get to work. This, as I said, was a GWP. It actually released, I thought it was going to release on the 1st of February, just in time for Valentine's Day. It actually released a few days prior. So it was towards the end of January. No recommended retail price, as I said, GWP, gift for purchase. 278 pieces. Took me all of 18 minutes. Uh, and I'm not going to go into the whole thing about penguins. I'm sure you can look it up online. But one of the cute little things about these penguins, aside from their eyes where the pupils look like they're heart shaped, is one of the penguins is carrying a pebble. If you do not know the significance of a penguin and pebbles, look it up. Think of it almost as an engagement ring. All right, so Mrs. Brick Whisper really wanted this one, so I had to oblige. I really liked the colors, the yellow, the I'm sorry, the bright light orange and the regular orange color. Gave them both a very unique penguin look. And I like how both of the penguins had little the clips underneath their beaks, so that the one that's being presented, the pebble, is standing there holding a fish, almost like an acceptance of the pebble. And of course, because this is a Valentine's Day set, the base had to be in the shape of a heart. I mean, what Valentine's Day set doesn't do that? With floating hearts behind the penguins. And there we go. Two little penguins just floating on ice, giving symbols of affection and love. Oh. And so there you have it. Valentine's Day. Whoops, here I go throwing things. Valentine's Day is. I'm going to do my very best on Valentine's Day. I know I got to work today. So hopefully this evening we'll have you know, we'll make it a special night for us. We're not going anywhere. I ain't stupid. Valentine's Day trying to go out, not a great idea. And as you start to get older, you realize the best time to go out for Valentine's Day is a day or two after. So I've got a couple other projects I want to try and get done today. So I'm going to jump right on that. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share this with your friends, share this with your family, share this with anybody you know that loves Lego, share this with anybody that you love, just so you can show them the sets that are out there for Valentine's Day. Maybe they'll get into it. And with all of that being said, we will see you when we see you. Happy Valentine's Day. Y'all have a great one. Bye bye.